Hello, everyone. Welcome to the grand adventure of the Kamakura period. In Chapter 1, we'll explore how Japan changed right after the Genpei War and how the Kamakura shogunate came into being. The fierce struggle between the Minamoto and Taira clans concluded with the Genpei War, culminating in Minamoto's victory at the Battle of Dan no Yura. However, Japan didn't simply settle into peace after the Taira's downfall. That's because the samurai were beginning to seek a new order. Minamoto no Yoritomo earned the support of the samurai by defeating the Taira clan. But why did he choose Kamakura as his base? He wanted to establish his own government away from the imperial capital in Kyoto. It's a bit like starting a new business in a quieter town, away from the hustle and bustle of a major city. Yoritomo demonstrated leadership by organizing the samurai under a new political system, securing their loyalty. For instance, he clearly defined rewards and land distributions to prevent conflicts among samurai. This is similar to how a company's CEO assures employees of fair salaries and positions. In 1192, Minamoto no Yoritomo was officially appointed as shogun, founding the Kamakura shogunate. This marked the start of a new era where samurai took center stage in politics. But why did the samurai class rise to power so rapidly? It's because the aristocracy had lost authority after years of warfare, while the samurai, backed by military power, effectively controlled the provinces and lands. It's akin to how a trailing runner overtakes an exhausted competitor in the final stretch of a marathon. What do you think allowed the samurai to seize power so swiftly? Or has a warrior class ever dominated politics in your country's history? Share your thoughts in the comments. Through Minamoto no Yoritomo's decision and the rise of the samurai, Japan transitioned from the aristocrat-centered Heian era to a new age. This shift brought surprise and anticipation to many. Like a ship forging ahead through stormy seas, the samurai embarked on an uncharted future. Hello, everyone. In Chapter 2, we'll explore how the newly formed Kamakura shogunate transformed Japan's politics. After all, Minamoto no Yoritomo and the samurai toppled the aristocrat-centered governance, establishing a new order. But what exactly did that order look like? In the Kamakura shogunate, Minamoto no Yoritomo stood at the top as shogun, but after his death, real power shifted to the position called shikken. The Hojo clan monopolized this role, effectively steering the shogunate's course. Meanwhile, a council system known as Hyojoshu was established, where important matters were decided collectively, somewhat similar to a modern corporate board meeting. Samurai were not just warriors, they also managed lands and governed local areas. While provincial samurai protected their territories and collected taxes from farmers to submit to the shogunate, urban areas thrived with merchants and artisans, bustling in lively markets. Samurai influenced these commercial activities as well, creating rules to maintain order. One figure vital to supporting the shogunate was Hojo Masako, the wife of Minamoto no Yoritomo. After her husband's death, she rallied the samurai to maintain order, making bold decisions. During the Jokyu War, for instance, it's said she declared, "Kill me before you leave," to the samurai, inspiring their loyalty. Moreover, the samurai used the Gozaibai Shikimoku to judge disputes and crimes. We've discussed the details before, so here we'll focus on its practical application. By combining Bushido, the samurai code of ethics, with legal regulations, social order was further reinforced. In your country's history, how do you think warrior classes or leaders used laws to govern society? Also, did you have a female leader like Hojo Masako who preserved order through bold decisions? Let us know in the comments. The Kamakura shogunate's political system wasn't just about domination through force. Samurai carried a sense of pride and responsibility, safeguarding both land and people. They valued principles like ji, justice, and shin, trust, fostering close bonds with local residents, not unlike a father protecting his family. Hello, everyone. In Chapter 3, we'll explore the development of the economy and trade during the Kamakura period. In the previous chapter, we saw how the samurai governed society. Thanks to the stability they established, economic activities began to flourish. The foundation of the Kamakura economy was, without a doubt, agriculture. Samurai governed territories and collected taxes, nenku, from farmers to fund the shogunate. However, it wasn't just about collecting taxes, maintaining trust with farmers was essential. Why do you think that was? If farmers couldn't protect their livelihoods and work with motivation, the land's productivity would drop. Samurai weren't just warriors, they managed their territories and protected farmers. It's similar to how a company manager encourages employees to raise performance. Samurai valued relationships with farmers to increase harvests. With agriculture stable, surplus produce flowed into markets, invigorating the activities of artisans and merchants in urban areas. During the Kamakura period, guild-like organizations called ZA formed, fueling a commercial boom. Why did these ZA develop? ZA were guild-like systems where merchants and artisans united to stabilize product quality and pricing. In return for protection from the samurai, they paid taxes, supporting the shogunate's finances. It's akin to a club where members collaborate for shared success, enabling merchants to cooperate and profit together. Moreover, the Kamakura shogunate encouraged trade with the Korean peninsula and the Chinese mainland, southern Son, Yuan, etc. Items like ceramics, silk, and books were imported, while gold and swords were exported from Japan. Such international exchange stimulated cultural developments, introducing Zen Buddhism and new technologies to Japan. Through this foreign trade, Japan connected with the outside world, adopting various cultures and technologies. Like discovering new horizons through studying or traveling abroad, people in Kamakura experienced fresh surprises and inspiration, fostering not only economic growth but also cultural enrichment. Temples and shrines also played a significant role in the Kamakura era's economy. They owned lands, supported agriculture and commerce, and used the income from economic activities to maintain temples and sponsor cultural endeavors. This is somewhat like how modern NPOs operate in tandem with local economies. In your country, what kind of economic activities took place in the medieval era? Were there guilds or marketplaces? Did religious institutions like temples or churches support economic activities? Let us know in the comments. Samurai did more than just fight. They protected lands and farmers, supported merchants and artisans, and even promoted exchange with foreign nations. They were leaders who did more than just guard, and it was their approach that powered the Kamakura era's economic growth. They're somewhat like a father who doesn't only protect the family during a stormy night but also provides warmth and a comforting meal. In this chapter, we explored how the Kamakura era's economy and trade developed, and the role samurai and religious institutions played. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into Kamakura's culture and religion, examining how the samurai's spiritual world and arts flourished. Stay tuned! Hello, everyone! In Chapter 4, we'll explore the culture and religion of the Kamakura period. Last time, we talked about how samurai supported the economy, but as they lived through days of conflict, they also needed nourishment for the soul. So, what kind of culture did they foster, and what beliefs did they hold? When we think of the Kamakura period, the spread of Zen Buddhism stands out. Why were samurai drawn to Zen? They believed meditation could strengthen the mind, discard unnecessary doubts, and enhance decisiveness, similar to how athletes use mental training before competitions. Meanwhile, amid the turmoil of war and disease, many sought salvation in the afterlife. Thus, sects like the Jodo school and the Jodo Shinshu gained popularity. By venerating Amida Buddha and reciting the Nembutsu, followers believed they could attain salvation. It's somewhat like how we turn to comfort music to ease our minds after a hard day at work. Samurai weren't just active on the battlefield, they also devoted themselves to arts like waka poetry and calligraphy. They believed that experiencing beauty was crucial to centering the mind. For instance, a samurai inspired by the famed poetry of Fujiwara no Taika might try composing his own verse. Zen temples weren't merely places of ascetic training, they also became hotbeds for the development of tea ceremony and garden culture. The uniquely Japanese aesthetic sense of wabi-sabi is said to have emerged in this era, somewhat like how minimalists appreciate the beauty of empty space in modern interiors. There's a tale of a samurai who, grieving the loss of a comrade, expressed his sorrow through waka poetry and reread it quietly in a tea room. He couldn't hold back his tears, and each sip of tea reminded him of their memories. Yet that very sorrow made him appreciate the value of life and reaffirmed the significance of Bushido. In your country's history, do warriors engage in art or activities to calm their minds? And how do you perceive aesthetics like Zen or wabi-sabi? Let us know in the comments. In this chapter, we explored how Kamakura's culture and religion supported the samurai spirit and influenced society. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into the Kamakura era's military strategies and defense systems, revealing the wisdom and ingenuity forged in battle. Stay tuned! Hello, everyone. In Chapter 5, we'll focus on the Kamakura shogunate's military strategies and defense systems. In the previous chapter, we discussed how culture and religion supported the samurai spirit. Now let's see how these samurai, fortified by that spirit, protected Japan. The core of the Kamakura shogunate's military lay in the gokunin, or direct retainers of the shogun. In exchange for land or rewards, they were obligated to serve in battle when needed. It's somewhat akin to a freelance contract today, where services are rendered in return for compensation. When discussing the Kamakura shogunate's defense system, we can't overlook castles and fortifications. Fortresses built on mountains or plains took advantage of the terrain, functioning like breakwaters against external threats. Kamakura itself was naturally fortified by its geography, and additional defenses effectively turned it into a Kamakura fortress. Samurai never neglected their daily training in preparation for battle. Along with honing skills in archery and swordsmanship, they enhanced concentration and courage through practices like mounted archery, yabusaim. It's akin to how top athletes undergo rigorous training to excel in competitions. Collaboration among gokunin was also crucial. Instead of fighting alone, unified cooperation resulted in overwhelming team strength, much like how a sports team wins through cohesion. Teamwork on the battlefield often decided victories. Many places in Kamakura still resonate with the fiery spirit of those samurai. Traces of swordsmith forges, shrines hosting yabusaim ceremonies, and remnants of defensive structures built on steep cliffs standing there, you can almost feel the samurai's resolve to defend this land at all costs. In your country's history, are there unique defense systems or traditions like chivalry? Also, if there are stories about training that strengthen the spirit, please share them in the comments. In this chapter, we explored how the Kamakura shogunate built its military strategies and developed defense systems. The gokunin network, fortified castles, and cooperative training among samurai all combined to safeguard Kamakura's skies. Next time, we'll dig deeper into how these samurai values shape laws and the judicial system. Stay tuned! Hello, everyone. In Chapter 6, we'll delve into the laws and judicial systems of the Kamakura period. In the previous chapter, we explored how samurai protected society, but did you know they also valued rules for people and society, not just the battlefield? When we talk about the Kamakura shogunate, the Gozaibai Shikimoku stands out. Think of it as the samurai code of conduct designed to maintain order. While it contains many details, let's focus on the key points for clarity. For instance, it spelled out how to resolve disputes among samurai and how to manage relationships with farmers. Much like how a sports team creates team rules, it clearly defined roles and behavioral guidelines. Having laws alone isn't enough. There must be a system of trials to ensure fair judgments. The Kamakura shogunate had a council system called the Hyojoshu, which decided important trials and policies. Think of it like a council in the movies that convenes to make pivotal decisions. In trials, evidence and testimonies from both parties were crucial. Even if a samurai committed wrongdoing or was wrongly accused, the Hyojoshu aimed for a fair ruling. You might call it a samurai version of the rule of law. There's a tale of a samurai who had a land dispute with his brother. In court, he tearfully stated, "I seek justice not out of greed, but to uphold fairness." He spent the days before the verdict reciting prayers, trusting his conscience. Eventually, evidence ruled in his favor, and he was deeply moved, saying, "True Bushido lies in justice." In medieval Europe, chivalry dictated knights' ethics, and knights sometimes resorted to duels or legal battles. Similarly, Kamakura samurai valued honor and also turned to lawful resolution of disputes. Comparing these Eastern and Western models makes history even more fascinating. In your country's history, was there a chivalry system or a way for warriors to settle disputes legally? Also, what do you think is crucial for maintaining fairness in modern society? Let us know in the comments. In this chapter, we explored the law, judicial systems, and the samurai ethics underpinning them in the Kamakura period. Rather than ruling by force alone, they upheld fairness and order through well-defined rules, of principles still vital today. Wouldn't you agree? Next time, we'll dive deeper into the decline of the Kamakura shogunate and the emergence of a new era. Stay tuned! Hello, everyone! In this final chapter, we'll conclude the story of the Kamakura period. We've seen how Minamoto no Yoritomo founded the shogunate, how the samurai led politics, protected society, and fostered culture. Yet behind that glory lay struggles and the seeds of future turmoil. Let's explore the final days of the Kamakura shogunate and glimpse the new era beyond. We've explored the Kamakura era's many facets: military, economy, culture, but the shogunate eventually succumbed to internal conflicts and the aftermath of the Mongol invasions. In particular, centralized power that bred dissatisfaction within the government and the immense war costs weakened the shogunate's stability. There's a touching anecdote about a samurai who vowed to defend Kamakura to the end when the shogunate was on the brink of collapse. With only a handful of companions left, he attempted to hold the castle, and as flames engulfed it, he reportedly murmured, "All I have left is my samurai pride," bowing deeply. It's like a scene straight from a movie, isn't it? Finally, the Kamakura shogunate met its end through Emperor Go-Daigo's Kenmo restoration campaign and Ashikaga Takauji's rebellion. Though the samurai realm did not vanish, the curtain silently fell on the Kamakura era. The Kamakura shogunate, initiated by the samurai, introduced a new order in Japan, distinct from the aristocrat-centered Heian era. Samurai deeply engaged in politics, re-evaluated relationships with local communities and farmers, and invigorated culture and religion. You could say this samurai era laid the framework for future Japan. When you visit Kamakura's historic sites today, you might still sense the powerful resolve of the samurai, who vowed to protect this land and its people. Their courage and pride transcend time, offering us a reminder that we too can overcome adversity. Now that we've revisited the Kamakura era story, how do you feel about it? Achieving great success only to be swallowed by the tides of change is something that could happen anywhere in the world. Does your country's history have similar turning points? Share your thoughts in the comments. With this, we'll close the chapter on the Kamakura period for now. But coming up next is the era of the Muromachi shogunate, founded by Ashikaga Takauji. What sort of politics and culture will the samurai shape in Kyoto? How will Japan ascend to its next stage? Stay tuned for the next installment.